When the goal finally came, it was alarming in its simplicity. Alvaro Morata held the ball up superbly, as he did all evening long, ghosted away from a couple of defenders and pitched a pass into the left channel. Eden Hazard gave chase, Simon Francis tumbled over in hot pursuit and the Belgian fired the ball through Asmir Begovic and into the goal. For Chelsea manager Antonio Conte, a surge of relief. This had been a reasonable enough away performance, but for 51 minutes a sense of frustration grew as Chelsea spurned a catalogue of openings. Conte's response was to throw his arms out in celebration, but his thoughts immediately turned. He pointed his index fingers towards his head and told his players to concentrate. If Chelsea retain the merest aspiration of defending their Premier League crown, this was a game they dare not lose. Indeed, they could barely afford a draw. The team coach arrived on the south coast with the players aware that at the start of play they were sitting 12 points behind leaders Manchester City. Jose Mourinho's Manchester United were 7 ahead, with the former Chelsea manager returning to Stamford Bridge next Sunday. To their credit, Chelsea did start this game with purpose. Their passing was crisp and their build-up play well thought out, if a little ponderous at times. Yet Chelsea's territorial dominance was such that Conte's side could well have been home and dry by the half-time whistle. Instead, an exasperating period saw them denied first by their own carelessness, then by the assistant referee's errant judgment and finally by the courage of the Bournemouth goalkeeper Begovic. Morata was the first culprit. A tragicomic 30 seconds saw Begovic skew a clearance straight into Hazard's path. The Belgian carried the ball forward and teed up Morata perfectly, but as he opened up his body, he side-footed it wide of the post. At times this season, Conte has appeared to be spoiling for a fight at every turn. This week, the print media felt his wrath, but unease towards the club hierarchy and his own players has pockmarked the Italian's tenure since the end of last season. The officials may be next on his hit list after Morata was then denied by Eddie Smart's offside flag. A well-worked set-piece saw Hazard pull the ball back for David Luiz, whose effort was deflected into Cesar Azpilicueta. Begovic saved and Morata turned the ball into the net. Yet up went Smart's yellow flag to curtail the champions' celebrations. Replays did not reflect well on the officials' decision, with Azpilicueta shown to be level. Bournemouth, languishing in the relegation zone and with pressing needs for points of their own, threatened rarely. A victory at Stoke aided matters last week, but the club have not won consecutive Premier League matches since April. Benicofobie wasted one positive opening and Azpilicueta defended impressively when Francis flashed a ball across the Chelsea goal. The visitors kept coming. As the first half ended, they could not have set up camp more in the Bournemouth half if they had pitched a row of tents across the 18-yard line. A breakthrough appeared inevitable. Morata's qualities soon came to the fore, as he tiptoed by two opponents following some lovely interplay with Hazard. The Spaniard shot powerfully towards goal, but Begovic was able to spread himself and divert the ball over. Conte screwed up his face and ran his hands over his visage before turning back to the dugout in frustration. Little wonder that he smiled so broadly when the breakthrough finally came. His team still had the occasional fright, most notably when Luis and Cesc Fabregas ran into each other and Jermaine Defoe's replacement Jordan Ibe struck the ball over the top. Captain Azpilicueta appeared to meet every cross. When Thibaut Courtois was finally called upon, he held firm when Steve Cook powered a strike on goal. Indeed, Chelsea should have closed the game off themselves when Fabregas broke from midfield and curled over the top from the angle. For Conte, however, the victory was all that really mattered.